A very good evening and welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us for this exciting moment, the official launch of the OwnPhone. My name is Robert Jan, and tonight we're unveiling something truly different. A mobile phone that not only respects your privacy, but gives you real ownership of your data and can run independently from big tech ecosystems. Now, next to myself, I'm going to introduce two special guests tonight that are going to tell a little bit more about where they come from. But let's begin with an introduction. And the first question, actually, maybe even the main question for tonight, is going to be who owns your data? I don't know if you ever thought about this. But this is actually a question that is now especially become very relevant in the last few months. Who really owns your data? So what we see now is that there's a lot of privacy companies popping up that give you privacy phones and privacy laptops, and everybody's talking about privacy. In the European Union, we're now talking about how do we keep data within Europe? How do we keep data in our own country? So there's a lot of talk about data. All these privacy companies, what they're offering, for us is great, but we actually believe that privacy is not a goal. Privacy should be a result. Plus, if you put your data still in the hands of a third party, that third party may claim that, oh, we are very private, we protect your data, you don't have to worry, we don't share it with everything, we don't share it with anyone. But we actually claim that 99% privacy for us is the same as 0% privacy. You either have privacy or you don't have privacy. So what are the challenges of today? And the main challenge we believe is on the internet and who owns the internet. So today's centralized internet is actually what we have. Now here in this image you see in the center you have these large data centers, and all of us are connected with our mobile phones, with our laptop, whether you use Microsoft Office 365, whether you use Zoom, whether you store your data on your iCloud, on your iPhone, on your Google Drive or your M Drive. Everything is stored centrally in the hands of a third party. Now this centralized system actually comes with some some challenges. And one of them is that it's very unfriendly. We all know that they are building huge data centers all over the world, which use a lot of power and a lot of capacity, a lot of cooling capacity. Now, the second challenge is that it's quite unsafe. If you store your data in a central place, we can all see what happens in countries that are in war now. You have to only bomb a data center, or it's a very well-used target for hackers. Obviously, hackers will look for a central place where they can do the most damage. So a centralized system by itself, by design, is not a very safe way of storing all this data. The next challenge is that it's very inefficient. A lot of countries in the world don't even have access to their local data, and it travels all over the world from left to right to get to your data. You probably may store your data on your phone with a cloud provider that is somewhere on the other side of the world or another continent. And this is especially true in the countries who do not have local storage, like Africa, like maybe South America. So it's a very inefficient system. Now, the next challenge is that, therefore, it's incredibly expensive. The reason why we do not have any storage in those countries is because they cannot afford it. And the big companies that build these data centers, they have absolutely no interest in going into those economies. They will go to the economy where they can gain the most profit. So it's a very expensive system. And last but not least, what we are talking about today is that there's hardly any privacy. All of us, many of us will use a mobile phone with an Android system on it, or with an Apple system, with an iCloud, with Microsoft on their laptops, with a lot of free applications. You get free access to social media platforms, you get free access to everywhere, and you have to make accounts. You have to make an account and use your account and log into your account when you want to use your phone. Whether it's Android or Apple, you cannot use it without creating an account. And why is that? Because they will actually use that data that you store there to profile, so there's a lot of privacy concern there. So we honestly believe that the future of the internet should be decentralized. There should not be a few major companies, major firms in control, but we should all be in control. It should be our internet, your internet, my internet, and everybody should be able to freely make use of the internet without any permission. Plus, you're supposed to be able to store your data in your own control. Store your data locally where it's efficient and where only you can access it and you can control it. So we honestly believe that the future is decentralized because it's much more eco-friendly. Second is, it's much more safe. If it's a decentralized system and data is stored everywhere on various locations, it becomes much harder in case of war to bomb the place. It's much harder for hackers to find a central location to hack into it. So it's a more safe solution. Last but not least, it's not last. It's much more efficient. And one of our guests will tell a little bit more about it when I introduced him, but he will show you that it's much more efficient to have a decentralized system because it prevents you from having to store your data on the other side of the world. You can store it locally, which saves energy, which saves speed. It's a lot more efficient. The fourth one is that obviously it's much lower cost. You don't have to build these massive data centers. Plus, those countries I was just talking about that do not have the capacity to build large data centers, they can now use these decentralized systems in a much cheaper way to build local storage. So it's there's a lot lower cost. Plus, if you control the data yourself and you can store it in a local location that is in your control, it is much more private. Now, I'm saying that this future is decentralized, but I can tell you guys right now that the future is already here. And not just now, not just last year, for almost 10 years, there's a group of people that have been building this decentralized internet, which is more than ready to be used today. So our first guest is one of the co-founders from ThreeFold, a pioneer in building the decentralized internet infrastructure. So Wijnand, great to have you with us. Please come to the stage and take it from here.
Hello, good evening. Thank you, Robert-Jan, for the introduction. It's fantastic to be here, and I just want to reiterate that we're all here for an exciting launch of a phone, a private phone, right? But in order to use that phone and in order to use it on an internet that is also free, we have to have this decentralized internet. And that's where I come in. I will take 10 minutes of your time to talk through the journey that I have made with 100 plus other people to build this and to bring this to the world. And indeed, like Robert said, it's called ThreeFold. And it's a platform that has been built by people and for people to create digital services that actually mimic or actually take over digital service that we use on a daily basis. And I'd like to take you to my journey in terms of how we got to that and how we got the motivation to do it, and then what we in the end built and what was actually delivered to the world and what is available today. And again, it's going to take 10 minutes. Don't try to take away from the launch event, but I'm just trying to enhance it here with what is also available on that side. And when I was much younger, and again, I was born a long time ago in Europe, in the Netherlands, and the internet was a place which you could draw on a map almost. When I was in university, I literally, because my specialization was space technology, I literally communicated with NASA engineers from computer to computer. And that was a little bit later than what this drawing is, but it's actually, that was the internet where we shared. And today, if we look at what the internet is, it's no longer sharing. I mean, it's all about centralization, like Robert said. It's large data centers with large control of data and actually capturing data. And if you have an interest in looking into this, I don't know, who knows, but there is a map that displays the current size and the current internet traffic as a map, where you can dynamically go through and see in different parts of the world what the major points are. And again, for us, as we know them all today, I mean, Google is one of the biggest ones out there. We use it for search. I'm sure pretty much AI will take over very soon, but that's where we are. And that leads to where the centralized internet now is present and available and actually doing a good job for a part of the world where there is capital, there is electricity, there is density in terms of delivering that capacity to those data centers to do all of that. But this is a very old slide, a very, very old slide that I've been using for ThreeFold for quite a long time, but it's not everywhere. That's the point here. And that's just unfair, because that means that in case you are in a non-first world country and you want to do a Zoom or a video conference like we do today, you literally travel across half the globe to connect to a person that might be 30 kilometers away from you. And that's just insane. Because if we would do that in many other parts of what we use in a daily basis, that's considered to be not efficient. That's considered to be expensive. That's considered to be not ideal. And that is something that we should step away from. So the challenges of the centralized internet, again, Robert already said it, but there's a lot of people that don't have access to it today because of the fact that it's only available in locations where people can afford it. The infrastructure is also taking data and having it stored in only a few locations. And then it does use a lot of resources because you travel long distances to actually get, store, and take data from it. So what is the solution? Well, the solution is something that we've been working on for 10 years. And it is, and we're not saying that the centralized internet is no longer needed, because just like, and I'll go back and forth between these two slides, just like we have in electricity, and that's a very good example because we all know it, we need a form and some centralized produced electricity that we used. But more and more and more, we're doing it also decentralized by wind, by solar, by waves, by many other technologies that are coming in now that augment it, which means that the grid, also the electricity grid's offloaded and is being used more local for local purposes. Power your house with solar panels on the rooftop. And then if you don't need it, again, challenges exist, but deliver back to the grid and let other people consume it as well. But we do need for continuity that centralized platform to deliver it. Same for the internet. Those data centers will continue to exist, but let's not be that the only solution to actually do it. There is a technology stack that now allows for cloud, compute, network, and storage facilities to be created everywhere. That's what ThreeFold built in the last 10 years. And it creates usable internet capacity, which will augment phones and privacy phones like this with services that actually store data, not in centralized data centers, but in a decentralized internet. And that's what my excitement for today is about, to bring to you. Where are we with that? We're far from being perfect. We're far from being finalized. We're far from actually being done with everything that we need to do. But we are currently present in 60 countries. There is a lot of storage available. We need more, but that's what we're here to also promote. How do you do this? Because again, it sounds very complicated, but it is not. So in the end, there are people like Robert that help us to distribute this technology and make it available to people in a very simple way. And in the end, it's a package, a computer that will arrive with everything that you need. And what needs to be done is plug it into power and plug it into the internet provision that you have, and that's it. It will then start generating, like a solar panel on your rooftop, actual internet capacity that can be used by others to compute, to store information, and to provide networking facilities. What is needed, and this might be over the top, and I'll go very quickly here, but you need something that is an operating system that works decentralized, that is autonomous, doesn't need to be installed, doesn't need to be maintained. That's done. You need storage that is able to work with multiple computers in multiple different locations. Also, that is done. The networking needs to be safe because you're living in people's networks, not in data center networks. It's not controlled, so it needs to be safe. And it needs to be able to live on the edge. There's a lot of details around that, but not for here and not for now. Again, the action is around the privacy phone that we will get to. What can it do and what does it enable today? Well, there's all the workloads that we use today that actually can be provisioned through this decentralized network. It's a different way of doing it, and it does require different integration partners, different technologies, and different software partners, but it will do all of the things that we use on a daily basis. Having said that, thank you so much for your attention. And now I'd like to go back to the main topic of today, and that is the phone. Thank you so much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Wijnand, for this explanation on what ThreeFold has been building. Obviously, that's what we're here for today. That's one of the main reasons we are introducing this phone to you. So now we move on to our next guest for today, which his name is Robin Haug. As a matter of fact, Wijnand was just joining us from Dubai. In case you didn't know, I forgot to mention that. And Robin Haug is actually joining us from Denmark. So he's the international sales manager at Volla in Germany, and their philosophy of the digital sovereignty aligns perfectly with our mission. And they've been a strong supporter of the OwnPhone project, which we developed together. So we developed this together with Volla. So I would like to ask Robin to come to the stage, please, and Robert, take it from here. You're muted, Robin. Turn on your microphone.
Yeah. Hello, guys. This was awesome. I think that also Wijnand's point about the travel of data is very much on point. It's very thought-provoking. And we in Volla, we are very, very enthusiastic about this collaboration. So I would like to start out with a little scene. Imagine you are in the park or fishing with a friend in a boat or at home talking with your partner, but there is this annoying, super annoying, basically random, fundamentally secretive middleman mediating, registering all of your doings, all of your communication. That's basically the status of the most popular tech out there. So in Volla, we started in 2017, 3 years of research and development. First device was launched 2020. As you can see here, there are two major dominant players, but we do see that there is a growing interest and understanding for an alternative, which is open source. We in Volla are one of the players. We see this as a emergent, growing market segment, not a niche, but a segment that will only grow and grow. The basic problems, as we see it, is it's two-sided. So you have on the one hand a growing complexity, distractions, time thieving. We all know that, how annoying these algorithms can be. And on the other hand, we see the paternalism, surveillance, profiling. The main problem for Google and Apple is that they are stuck in their own business model. And this dependency is structural. They are technically dependent on their cloud technology, as well as economically dependent on their cloud technology. And this is where everything changes. So we do see some new needs articulated out there in the market, new reality, new tech, which OwnPhone is a prima. It's a perfect example of that. Also with the ThreeFold's decentralized internet solution. The trend is clear. Decentralization is coming. Who are we? We work for autonomy, integrity, and dignity, basically. We are tired of this very annoying third party, this annoying middle man meddling everywhere. So what we want is to provide with others an independent, free, and open way of doing commerce and communication. And for our purposes, the logical point was to start with devices, but then comes, the ecosystem with apps and also the infrastructure, which ThreeFold is a very, very good example of. You can see some imagery here of centralized versus decentralized. And at the bottom, you will see that there are patterns in nature, actually. So on the left, you see the classical tree structure, which is centralized in a sense. And on the right side, you see the rhizome structure, which we also find in nature, which our tech more and more mirrors. The decentralized internet of ThreeFold is a very good technical instantiation of the rhizomatic structures that we find in nature. We think that the time is now. Yeah, we have felt for many years that the interest, accept, and also demand has been growing steadily. But I think we are many that can say that 2025 has been a very special year in that regard. One keyword is geopolitics. And so I think that especially perhaps here in Europe, but also other places, we see a demand for more sovereignty. I think we all are affected by this. We all have interests in caring for our data. So I mentioned a few points there. Citizens, obviously. Parents, this could be a great phone for children and youth. Organizations, of course, companies, public infrastructure, not the least. We do see that time and time again how kind of easy it is to knock it out. But my last point there is the surroundings, and this is a key point, I think, also, because you might think that I don't care, I have nothing to hide, but what about those people around you? That's also something that we need to take care about, because the new workings of these dominant operating systems, they do more and more of client-side scanning. And that means that everything gets registered, whether you know it or not, whether you like it or not. And also all the conversations you have will be registered. I don't think we need that. So one of the points here is that we are building solutions for this. So it's super important that this is open source. This has to do with transparency. I would also like to mention that Volla, we are a original equipment manufacturer, and this is really key, since we do have full control over all security critical layers, including the firmware. So let's say you have a normal phone, an ordinary phone, and you have some graphene OS on top of it. You will still have some really basic problems there, right? Because you have not had the chance to look into how the firmware and the drivers are set up. But with Volla, we have all of that under control, so we can make sure that there are no backdoors, for instance. All drivers are checked. And when it comes to, I'm sure you have learned that governments, more and more governments, they are asking for backdoors, right? It's increasing, and you could say, it's only for good, only for government criminal cases. But a door is a door. It means that it gets easier for anyone actually to get in. I would mention that Volla, we have a multi-boot system that's quite unique. So we can do Volla OS, but also Ubuntu Touch, now also your operating system, and many more. Droidian, Sailfish is a new offer coming now. With this, you can set up different profiles. on your phone for different use cases, like one for work-related stuff and another for private-related stuff. This adds to security, and for the professional users, enterprises, businesses, we of course offer very, very good mobile device management solutions, most of which are open source, but we also do have some solutions that are compatible with Microsoft, for instance. Volla, it actually means full, whole, integral. We think that simplicity is key here. It's a sign of maturity. We find we have put a lot of work into making Volla such a private phone. It's probably, to my knowledge, probably the world's most private phone, actually. Precisely because we are an original equipment manufacturer with full control of all security critical layers. We have also addressed this other side of the problem, which is that Google and Apple and so they are built for stealing our time, right? So we have put great effort into making some clever solutions for simplicity. So we have a special solution for that called Springboard, with which you can do most basic operations with a few clicks without even open the apps. You can get access to a customized list of apps with one gesture. You can write emails, SMS, Signal messages, lots more. It's growing and it's integrated with our own made Volla AI, you could say. We call it supportive intelligence though, because we feel that's a better word for it. It's local, embedded, no bit leaves to no cloud whatsoever. It's on your device. This is also the point with Volla in a more overall sense. We don't do logging, for instance. You don't need any cloud account. You don't need any Google account. You don't need any Volla account. You can do everything quite anonymously. I would also like to stress, like Robert did, that we do have a green heart. So we have set up a good design for easy do-it-yourself replacements. We have seen that we have up to 80% less energy consumption. We are following already, before the fact, EU law. So we have replaceable batteries, strong CPU, built for longevity, updates for at least 5 years. So that's a pretty package, includes no plastic and stuff like that. Our major partner, Gigaset, German Gigaset, they have won several EcoVadis environment prizes. And also we have very, very low SAR values, so not much radiation. There's an example of how our Springboard is looking. It's quite cool, actually, because you can think about it like pen and paper. So input is output. And this is our local supportive intelligence. It will interpret what you type in or say in, and it will suggest what action you are intending to do. It's pretty smart. And cool is also that the APIs are open, meaning anyone can train them and add also new skills to our Springboard. So that's also a collaborative effort I would like to underline that Volla is community driven. It's built by the community, for the community. We are in close contact with people all over the world. I should also say that we have shipped to 55 countries. So everything is going fine. I probably spent too much time. Yes, but here we are inviting you guys to get on with us. Anyone is welcome. Anyone can contribute. Anyone can see what we are doing. So thanks a lot. Here you can see some contact info. You can always contact me. So thanks a lot. I will give the word to Robert, I believe it is. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Robin. I've really been enjoying this presentation. I mean, this is the first time we do it, but I can already see that the audience looking at this can already, even before I start the presentation and the introduction of the launch of the OwnPhone, you can see why these two movements basically together are a perfect match. You know, on one side you get the decentralized internet, you get these people from Volla with the same mindset. So it was really great for these parties, for all of us to come together. And then obviously there's us, now called Your Data Network. The reason why we called Your Data Network is that we feel we're the only company out there actually that are trying to put your data into your own hands. I don't know if you ever noticed it, but most companies are actually trying to get your data into their hands. And even though they claim to be very private and privacy minded, and that's all great, and I believe them, you know, but if you want to have real control, you should be able to control your data and have it in your control. So that's what we're here for. That's what we're trying to do. So we were already, the people that know us know that we've been giving presentations about the decentralized internet for many years already. And if you wait till the end of this presentation, I'll give you a link for the next webinar so you can join us and I will tell you a lot more about it. But a while back, we decided that we wanted to launch our first phone with partnering with Volla, and you can see why. I mean, these people have already done 95% of the work that we were looking for, but we wanted to integrate the decentralized internet in it because we think that is the only place where people should store their data. So we came up with, okay, we need to have a wish list. I mean, what does this phone need to look like? So I'm going to discuss the wish list with you. Now, the first thing on our wish list is that, as I just said, we feel that the phone needs to easily connect to the decentralized storage. So when you turn on your phone, you need to have the option to say, okay, I want to store my backup, my data, my phones, my contacts, everything that I do. I don't mind it stored into a cloud, but it needs to be my own cloud. It needs to be under my control and nobody else's control. So that was the first tick box on our wish list. Now, the second one is it needs to have a unique OS. And I don't have to say too much about it because Robin already told about Volla OS. When we met Volla and we saw how they built their own phone all the way from scratch, controlling all the components that are inside and built their own Android-based operating system on top, which means you can still run your favorite apps if you want to. I don't advise all the apps, but you could still if you wanted to. So we wanted to have our own unique operating system, which allows us, as time goes by, to continue development on this phone we are announcing today. So it doesn't stop with the phone we're announcing today. With future updates, you will get a lot more and it will get better every day. So as Robin was saying before, a phone is not supposed to have an account. When you purchase a phone, you need to be able to put in your SIM card, turn it on, and make a phone call. Why would I have to sign up with my email address and give all this data away to all these people? Which is probably the reason why big companies like Samsung can offer their phones real cheap. I've learned that they can offer it 150 euros cheaper than if you would purchase the phone just like that, simply because the fact that you use the account and you store your data and all the information with them, and the fact that they can force all their applications onto you that you cannot even remove from your phone, makes a lot of money for these people. So they can offer their phones a lot cheaper to you. Last thing is, not last thing. The next thing is that, as Robin was saying, the phone supports dual boot. And we think it's important that it supports Linux. Now, for the people that are non-technical out there, don't worry about it. Your phone will just come Android-based like you're used to. But for those people who want to, you could actually install or turn on the dual boot feature and say, I also want to have Linux on my phone, which is called Ubuntu Touch, and experiment with it. So when you turn on your phone, you can actually choose, am I going to use the default Android or am I going to use Ubuntu Touch? So the phone can actually support more than one operating system. So that's fantastic. I think that's going to be a real future. That's going to be future proof. So the next point is we wanted to have a 100% safe VPN on it. And I will tell you a little bit more about it later on in this presentation. But there's a lot of VPN services out there, and all of them try to give you the maximum amount of privacy. But in the end, you will all go through the same. There may be various points, but there will still be 100 or 1,000 people going through the same point when they go into the internet. So if services or governments or any type of institute wanted to, they could still put their finger on top of it and start monitoring your every movement. And so we wanted to have a 100% safe VPN, not 99%, 100%, and we found it. The next thing is we wanted to have a 100% unique model built in the EU. I don't have to elaborate on that because Robin just told us that that's how we met Volla. We've seen how they build their own phone in the south of Germany with their own components, fully in control of everything they do, from all the way from firmware, no backdoors, nothing. So I do not want to have a phone like a Google Pixel or a Samsung or anything that is rebuilt, because we have no clue what is really happening behind the operating system. And so if you want to have full control, you have to start building your own phone. It's as simple as that. And the last point is we want it to be environmentally friendly. And also there, Robin also already told us something about it. So I'm going to tell you a little bit more about it later on in this presentation. So now, here we are introducing to you the OwnPhone. The reason we call it the OwnPhone is because it should be your own phone with your own data and your own applications in your own control. Everything should be your own. So what does that mean? As we just said, made in Germany, not in China or any other country, but in Europe. It has our own operating system on it, which is basically right now the Volla operating system, but it's a copy of it, a fork they call it. We call it your operating system, which allows us to start making minor changes. So when you get updates in the future on this phone, we integrate it more and more into this decentralized internet as updates are coming out. You don't need a new phone. It will all be on this phone that you may purchase. Dual boot option I just talked about. So we wanted to be able to have multiple operating systems on one phone. Mycelium pre-installed. I'm not going to elaborate too much on Mycelium today. Mycelium is a new language called a protocol that is built on the decentralized internet and will definitely be one of the future methods how we are going to communicate with one of each other. It allows you to communicate from device to device, fully encrypted, and Mycelium will find the shortest route. So we will even become lesser dependent of current internet providers. I mean, think about that your message, will probably jump from one device to another to get to the end in a very secure and unbreakable way. So that's the future. More and more applications will come out that support Mycelium. So that's pre-installed on your phone, so you don't have to worry about that. The other thing that Robin was mentioning for companies out there, what many people don't realize is that if you work in a company and your company in Europe and your company gives you an Android or an iPhone, as a matter of fact, they don't even apply to the new regulations, the GDPR regulations, because the regulations say you're not supposed to store any data outside of Europe anymore. Well, as long as you're in an iCloud or a Google Drive or in a Google Cloud, you basically put your data still in the hands of a third party. So it's not GDPR safe, basically. Now, the mobile device management, companies that want to have the mobile device management when they give their staff their own phones, this our own phone supports that too. So for businesses out there that want to be safe and secure, this is a very good alternative to any of the phones out there at the moment. The other one is the distraction-free theme. Now, Robin also already mentioned that. We actually love the distraction-free theme. When you turn on this phone, as you can see in this picture, it has a black and white screen. There's just one button in the bottom, and it's trying to be really smart. When you touch the button and you start typing a message, it will actually give you suggestions and say, hey, does it mean you want to send this message through, I don't know, your favorite Signal or Telegram, or you want to send an email, so with a few clicks of a button without actually opening the app or opening your email software, this phone will actually send it to you. So there's no distraction. You don't have the colorful background and the colorful application screaming at you with little red dots in the top corner saying, hey, you have a new message. You need to wake up. You need to, you're being constantly disturbed by your phones these days. And I don't know about the countries out there, but actually in the Netherlands, there's a lot of news on the TV these days where people are increasingly worrying about children being distracted by their phones way too much. So we think this is a great first step. Let's at least make an interface that is really cool and quiet and distraction free. Now, for those out there that really like the old type, you can still turn it on. I mean, we didn't take it away. There's still a method to say you can have all your colors and have apps back the way you wanted it, but we actually think this distraction free theme is a really cool new feature that is going to help us spend more time with our friends and family than on these phones. There we have it, the 100% secure VPN. It's the first agent-driven VPN, which means there's no human interference anymore. When you have this app and you have a subscription on it and you turn it on, it will actually generate a unique VPN connection just for you. There's no human interference, so there's nobody can put their finger on top. They don't know where you are located. They don't know where you're connecting to. There's no other VPN service, and it's actually being patented. And the reason it's patented because simply there's no other one out there that uses this technology. We're going to have a separate presentation in a while just about this VPN. It's fantastic. So it comes with this phone by default. Then obviously we have the decentralized storage option. When you turn on the phone, it will give you the option to say, hey, you want to connect to your own cloud, your own personal cloud, and store your data on your cloud. You can still share documents and share photos and do everything you are used to, just what you do now with all these big tech and iCloud and Google companies and Google Cloud, but this time fully in your control. You decide, no one can access your data. Plus, and as I just said, you're going to get free future updates. I mean, Robin was saying a minimum of 5 years, who knows, even longer. As long as the device can handle it, we'll give you updates so you'll grow with the technology that is coming out. So now I want to tell you a little bit more about this decentralized storage, because I actually think that is the main topic today, and the main feature of this phone is take back control of your data with Nextcloud. We are great supporters of Nextcloud all the way back many years ago when it was still called OwnCloud. We were already interested in it, and we think Nextcloud is doing a fantastic job. It's also a German company. There's no big tech, no data harvesting. It runs very nice on the decentralized internet by ThreeFold that was just presented to you by Wijnand. It obviously comes pre-installed on your own phone. So when you turn it on, you can real easily connect to your Nextcloud environment. But you can already use it right away. I mean, if you get Nextcloud now, get a subscription. Don't get it. My advice is not to get it with Nextcloud.com or with Murena or with all these other third parties, but make sure you install Nextcloud locally, or you let us install it for you. I'll tell you in a minute about that, but we can do that. And you can start doing that right away. Connect it to your laptop, your desktop, your tablet. Even before you even get your own phone, you can start using this Nextcloud right away. Everything you expect and more without compromise. So you can back up your phone automatically, as I told you, safely and privately. You can store, view, and synchronize all your photos, manage and share your files. You can host video calls. It actually comes with a really cool called Nextcloud Talk that you see in the right bottom. So you don't need Zoom anymore from Microsoft or Microsoft Teams or anything, or Zoom is Google, obviously. You can have your own private, very secure Nextcloud Talk, it's called. Plus, you are able to edit documents and work together on documents just as you do with Google Docs or with Microsoft Teams, for instance. Now, the other subject, the last subject I want to touch with you is talk about the environment. Environment matters. Robin was already mentioning it, but I'm going to elaborate a little bit more on it. This phone uses approximately 80% less energy consumption simply due to the fact that it uses Google free motors. It doesn't use Google service to store data on it. So, and the operating system is very light. It has a powerful processor and a very light operating system. So if you look at it on the globe in our environment, it actually uses 80% less energy. So even for the environment, this is already a better option. Now, the second one is the radiation. I know from a fact, and we've been selling a lot of equipment for the decentralized internet, and there's a lot of people increasingly worrying about the radiation in the air, about Wi-Fi, is it harmful to us? So in Europe, we have a law that came up, and you can see it in the numbers here. The European law says that the radiation, the power that is supposed to come and touch your body should not be more than 2 watts per kilo. And if you look at this phone, it's actually 0.13 or maximum 0.7. So we are way below the maximum radiation. So if you worry about radiation but still want to use a phone, this OwnPhone is definitely a great alternative. Then, as I already mentioned, a powerful 8-core processor for many years of limitless updates. Now, is this the most fancy phone out there? Does it have the highest specifications? Probably not. You can probably get better. But in combination with the operating system and this 8-core processor, it is way more powerful enough for many years of operations. Then there's the do-it-yourself, easy and affordable battery and screen replacement. You don't have to throw your phone away when the battery goes bad or when you break the screen. It can be quite easily. You can really replace it yourself or find somebody or send it to us to replace. Same for the battery. Even though this battery is so long-lasting, you'll probably never replace it in your life. But if you want, you could. I know there's phones out there that claim the same thing and say, oh, the materials we use, you can change them easily. They're good for the environment. This phone is built in exactly the same way. So it has the same features. And the last one is that most components are built in Germany, as we talked about it. So they're definitely made to last. They're very strong. So here we have it. The OwnPhone. Yours, not theirs. It's your data, not anyone else's. That's what makes this phone unique. So on the most private smartphone ever, as Robin already mentioned, with your optional private cloud, it's fully yours, no big tech. Now you can pre-order this phone all the way through next month, till the end of next month, but it only has limited availability. So if you want your phone, don't wait too long, because the first production that we run is only a few hundred of them. The prices, as we say, may not be the cheapest phone out there, but if you consider that all the Samsung of this world can offer them cheaper to you because they can use your data and store your data and sell all the information to other parties, we're not doing that. We're giving you a very fine phone that will last for many years with the best price that we can currently offer. Plus, we'll give you a lot of benefits in a minute. Because what's included and what can you add to this phone? Obviously, you have the OwnPhone, but we give you free shipping in the European Union. We'll give you a discount on that safest VPN. So if you want to have a secure connection, you want to use VPN connection, you can save money in that too. And optionally, get your private cloud with Nextcloud. We offer the service Nextcloud Remote. Again, if you know somebody who can help you to install Nextcloud on the decentralized internet yourself, or you're smart enough to do it yourself, by all means, go ahead. But if you feel like, okay, I want your data network to help me out with that, we gave you 2 subscriptions here. We can help you set it up. We just give you the login information. And when you receive your phone, you just enter the information and you're fully in control of your own data. So with all the advantages today, adds up to almost €100. So think about it when you go to the store. Pre-order now and take back control. Be part of the first couple of 100 phones that we have. Free shipping, free cloud activation, and you can have an optional cloud. And pre-orders are available now at ownphone.com, and I'm supposed to be able to show you. There you go. So if you want to go to the website, if you want to have a look on it, the website just went online today. So visit it. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to send us a message. Next to this, I already told you, Wijnand already talked a little bit about the decentralized internet in June 12, on June 12. So put it in your agenda, and I'll give you the link right now. On June 12th, we are giving you a free webinar called The Introduction to the Decentralized Internet. So if you've never heard about this and you want to know more about this, this is where it's all about. This is where privacy starts. We should all become owners of our own internet. It should be our internet, the people's internet. It should not be owned by any other company or business out there. So if you want to know more about that and you have not seen our webinar before, June 12th, 8 o'clock Central European Standard Time. We're going to give you a free webinar for that too. Now, if you want to stay up to date on everything that's happening with your data network, but especially with the OwnPhone, just sign up. Sign up to our newsletter for updates, and we will not spam you. I promise you. But you can easily, with a click of a button, unsubscribe again if you want. So. There you go. This is our presentation for today. I would like to ask Wijnand and Robert to come back to the stage to join us again. There's Wijnand and there's Robert. Robin with a muted phone. Robert, unmute yourself for you. Yeah.
Hello.
So, thank you guys for being here. I really appreciated your time and obviously our cooperation, which will continue. I hope everybody enjoyed watching this presentation, and looking forward, obviously, to receive orders, to hear more about them, and don't hesitate to contact us if you have any questions. So, Wijnand, thank you. Robert, thank you, and we'll see you guys soon. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Have a great night.
Thanks.
Have a good night. Bye-bye.
A good one.